Сайн байцгаана уу хүн төлөөлөгчтэй. Өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор Bank of China Улаанбаатар дахь төлөөлөгчийн газрын дарга ноён Dai Xingjun оролцож байна.
Dai Xingjun Хятадын банкны Улаанбаатар дахь төлөөлөгчийн газрын тэргүүн төлөөлөгч. Dai Xingjun Ухааны их сургуулийн инженерийн бакалавр, Ухааны их сургуулийг үндэсний эдийн засгийн төлөвлөгөө ба менежментийн магистрийн зэрэгтээ тус төгсжээ. Тэрээр Хятадын банкны өвөр Монгол дахь салбар дахь банкны дэд ерөнхийлөгч, тус банкны Шандун дахь Ряжо салбар банкны ерөнхий менежер, төлбөр тооцооны хилцээний дэд захирал ажилтан 2012 оноос Улаанбаатар дахь төлөөлөгчийн газрын тэргүүн төлөөлөгчөөр ажиллаж байна.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Mr. Dai, I would like to know a little bit about you. Tell us about yourself.
Okay. I'm from Qingdao, a seaside city on the east coast of China. Qingdao is a beautiful city and very famous for its beer.
Oh, yep. I know this beer.
Yeah. I have a bachelor's degree in engineering and a master's degree in economics. I have been working at the Bank of China since 1996. Before I came to Mongolia, I worked for the Bank of China in Shandong, in Beijing, and more recently in Mongolia.
In Mongolia. Then you came to Ulaaanbaatar city.
Yes.
Which year?
2012.
2012.
Yes.
Okay. Please tell us about Bank of China.
The Bank of China was founded in 1912. Up until 1949, the bank served as the Central Bank of China. In 2006, the bank was listed on the Hong Kong and Shanghai stock exchanges. At the end of 2018, the Chinese government owned around 67% of the bank, and 33% was owned by other shareholders.
Who are other shareholders?
I think a lot of private companies or individuals. So far, we have established over 600 branches in many developed countries and emerging markets. In the Asia-Pacific region, we have 26 branches in a lot of countries and territories. As a major international bank, we provide a complete range of financial services. These services include retail and corporate banking, insurance, wealth management, and airplane leasing. In new emerging markets, the bank focuses mainly on transportation, urban housing, and renewable energy or other projects.
Why did the Bank of China decided to come to Mongolia?
In recent years, Mongolia, as one of the new emerging markets, has experienced exceptional economic, and we believe that the country has a significant potential to develop its economy in the future. Over the last 20 years or so, many enterprises in China and Mongolia have built up close business links. We would, of course, like to encourage their cooperation. The Bank of China has a lot of experience with Belt and Road projects. The Mongolia's participation in the Belt and Road Initiative, therefore, may also create significant opportunities for our bank. We are confident that we can operate successfully here, and by working together with both international and local financial institutions, we can also contribute to the Mongolian economy.
Since your rep office opened in Mongolia,
Yes.
what you have been doing for the last 4 or so years, 5?
Yeah. As you know, we established our representative office in 2013. After that, we began to prepare our application to become a subsidiary branch. We have also been working in cooperation with our sister branches and the local Mongolian banks to grant loans to the selected Mongolian companies. Soon after our opening, in late 2013, we co-founded the Sino-Mongolian Foundation together with the local Chinese and the local Mongolian companies. So far, we have contributed over $1 million or 3 billion tugriks to and implemented 110 projects to provide support for the local project.
110 projects to
Yes.
support local
Community.
community. Okay, what kind of project?
Yes. One of our annual charity programs is the Warm Winter Project, which helps the families with essential supplies during the winter time. Another one of our programs is related to educational assistance. This program now provides more than 200 scholarships to the Mongolian students every year.
Every year.
Yes. So far, over 4,500 Mongolian students and families have benefited from our foundation's work.
Why has the Bank of China not yet been granted as a license to operate a subsidiary branch?
That's a very good question. And of course, we have been waiting for quite a long time. The government of Mongolia has been cautious about our entry into this market. And people have a lot of concerns about China's great involvement in the Mongolian economy. Additionally, some of local banks have also expressed their concerns about increased competition from big international banks. Naturally, politicians have to consider the views of everyone. We understand that in consideration of those concerns, the government of Mongolia is now working on new legislation that will provide the necessary regulatory framework for foreign banks.
New legislation for foreign banks.
Yes.
But however, let's say the law is coming, but however, there is a concern that
Yes.
Bank of China, because it's so big, large, it can negatively affect Mongolia's national security. What do you think?
There is really a lot of local peoples and politicians concerning that. Frankly, I don't think so. First, Mongolia is a fully independent country, and the Bank of China would operate under close supervision the Bank of Mongolia. Second, the Bank of China would have to comply with regulations and laws relating to tax, labor, immigration, and other government departments. Third, as a major bank with a good reputation in the world, we would operate in a fully transparent way. We would report our operational activities regularly to the regulatory authorities. More importantly, the Bank of China would comply with any decisions made by the National Security Committee of Mongolia and would never act contrary to national security policy.
There is a concern by Mongolian commercial banks, local banks, and I think they are actually afraid of such a large bank as yours coming to the market.
Yes.
What is your take?
I have been working in the banking sector for a long time. And I can, of course, understand their concerns of the local banks and their stakeholders. And I think the local banks would have good reasons to fear the Bank of China's entry into the market if we were going to compete at every level and had the opportunity to compete on an equal basis. I think over the recent years, we have developed business strategy relevant to our position as a foreign bank within Mongolian market.
Oh, very good. Do you have your own strategy to work for Mongolian market?
Yes, in accordance with this strategy, our banking operations will be largely restricted to providing funding for mega projects or major corporations involved in international trade.
Now, that's the concern of Mongolian banks.
Yes,
you will
that's
take
true.
all mega projects. Then how about Mongolian commercial banks?
Yeah. When provide funding for mega projects, we will invite the local banks to participate in mega projects or provide our clients with related financial services. I would like to mention that the Bank of China is not going to provide loans to SMEs and private individuals. More importantly, the bank will not be accepting deposits or providing loans in Tugaregs in the foreseeable future.
Why you will not accept deposits? Why?
In order to avoid direct competition against the local banks. So, in consideration of those concerns, the proposed legislation related to international banks will define our scope of business. It is clear. Once we get permission to open a subsidiary branch, we will operate in the market with a limited license.
Okay.
It is my personal view
Okay.
that our entry into the market, even on a limited basis, will in overall terms be beneficial to the local banks.
The people are also concerned that companies who will borrow from you for large projects, if they don't pay on time their loan, they may lose Mongolian strategic assets to you. What's your concern on that? Because then China looks like will possess the strategic assets of Mongolia.
I know that. I can understand that. In practice, when granting loans, we often accept assets as security. If a borrower cannot service the loans, we may acquire the assets that have been pledged as security.
Yes, collateral.
In that case, the only thing we could do to dispose of those assets is to sell them. That is because the Bank of China is only licensed to operate as a bank. It is not permitted to operate any other types of business. However, we would only sell those assets as security in accordance with the laws of Mongolia, in accordance national security rules, and under the close supervision of the Bank of Mongolia.
Then the Chinese large companies will buy it.
No, we have to comply the local regulations and laws. If the local regulations and laws permit, we sell those assets to Chinese companies. That's okay. If the local regulations forbid that, no such a transaction
All right,
happening.
I understand. Then when Bank of China comes, then how much it will affect on China, Chinese yuan and Mongolia swap arrangements we have between Chinese and Mongolian central banks.
The RMB Tugareg currency swaps involves consensual financial agreements between the two central banks of China and Mongolia. These arrangements have been working very well in recent years. I think that the Bank of China here in Mongolia, as a commercial bank, will have little or no reason to become involved with currency swaps unless we get direct instructions from the Bank of Mongolia to facilitate the related transactions.
So you have what is the name of your central bank now?
Central PBOC, People's Bank of China.
People's Bank of China is the central bank,
Yes,
which has no commercial activity. It's just our central bank.
supervision authority.
Supervision authority.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you think you will not impact on the swap?
Yes, no
Okay,
any effect about that.
Today, you see the economic relations between two countries are growing very fast.
Yeah.
China is our major partner. How do you see that relationship?
China and Mongolia are already major trading and investment partners.
Yes.
China's huge market and growing economy offers Mongolia very important opportunity to expand its mineral exports and to develop economic cooperation in the long term. As we know, Mongolia is participating in the Belt and Road initiatives. This will provide further stimulus for the Mongolian economy.
You see, we talk a lot about Belt and Road initiatives, but
Yes.
so far, no big project is made in Mongolia yet. And why? Is it connected with your bank permission or not?
I think it is really related to the foreign banks' entry. You know, so far, the local banks is not so big. And because of their net capital, they could not provide enough money for the mega project.
So Mongolian commercial banks, you say that too small for providing large mega projects like which can be under the Road and Belt Initiative, right?
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Okay. Mr. Dai, what will be impact of Bank of China on the high interest rate of saving and credit today in Mongolian banking sector?
As everyone knows, the interest rate for the Tugarika and for foreign currencies are quite high.
Yes.
When
High.
when compared with the interest rate in other emerging markets, the high cost of capital here in Mongolia is limiting business potential and constraining economic growth.
True.
The Bank of China's entry into this market will not influence the interest rate for the Tugarik. This is because, as I mentioned earlier, the Bank of China will not be accepting deposits or providing loans in Tugariks in the foreseeable future. The Tugarik benchmark interest rate can only be decided by the Bank of Mongolia and in accordance with the government's monetary policy. We will, however, have influence over the foreign currencies.
Yes.
This is because, as a major international bank, we have a variety of sources to get low-cost funds. That in turn means we could able to provide competitive funding in foreign currencies.
In foreign currency. So
Yeah.
what you are saying is you will not operate in Mongolian Tugriks.
Yes.
You will work only with US dollar or China RMB.
Related to the foreign currencies.
Relate to other foreign currencies. So once you are here, say you have in Mongolia your operation, how much it will affect the foreign exchange market or the US Mongol Tugrik exchange rate?
The entry of the Bank of China will definitely help stabilize foreign exchange market and strengthen Mongolian currency. First, in accordance with the related regulation, an operating subsidiary of a foreign bank is required to inject a certain amount of funds as paid-in capital. This will lead to Mongolia foreign currency reserves. Second, once we began operating as a subsidiary, and organizing syndicated loans, we will be able to attract more funds into the market. Third, if the government of Mongolia grants a license to the Bank of China, it will send a very positive to foreign investors. Inflows of foreign direct investment are the cornerstone of the rejuvenation of the Mongolian economy and the stabilization of Mongolian currencies.
So you think it will be positive signal to foreign investors that Mongolia is welcoming foreign investment even into the banking sector, and Mongolia is getting more ready for larger projects with
Definitely.
your presence.
Positive signal does matter.
How you would work with the Mongolian government as a large bank?
The Bank of China has a lot of experience working with governments all around the world. Because many of these projects here in Mongolia are government-driven.
Yes.
So working close with the government will be one of our priorities. We would like to participate in mining, energy, transportation, and other infrastructure projects that are very important for Mongolia's long-term development. We would also like to become involved in the gear renovation program. This is an important project that can help improve Mongolian people's well-being. The implementation of this project, together with the support for renewable energy initiative, can greatly reduce the air pollution. And we like to support the 8% home loan program. Funds injected by our bank and other partners into the program would stimulate the Mongolian property market and enable more residents to afford better housing and improve their living conditions.
Okay, you say you will also participate with cheaper money into the house market, which is today the house mortgages, 8% loan program,
Yes.
8% interest rate loan program of the government. And you also saying renewable energy, transportations, and you also saying that it's more probability of the Road and Belt initiative going on in Mongolia once you enter to Mongolia. So altogether, at the end, how much money you will bring to the market?
To answer this question, we need to talk about a banking ratio as the adequacy ratio.
Yes.
The adequacy ratio is used to control the total amount of loans
Yes.
a bank can grant
Yes.
based on its available capital.
Yes.
In Mongolia, the adequacy ratio has been set at 14%. That means a bank operating here can only lend up to 7 times the value
Yes.
of its available capital.
Yes.
So far, our head office has approved $50 million as capital for our future subsidiary branch.
Patent capital.
Yes, paid-in capital. That means we could provide loans to the value of up to $350 million.
Yeah, 7 times.
Yes, so obviously that's not a large amount, but that's not the whole story. There is another ratio about banking operation, the concentration ratio. That ratio is used to control the value of loans a bank can provide to a single borrower based on its net capital.
Yes.
In Mongolia, the concentration ratio is 20%. So the maximum value of loans the Bank of China could provide a single borrower is only 10 million, based on our capital of $50 million. how can we find mega projects? The solution, as I mentioned earlier, is syndicated loans. By organizing syndication, we could arrange enough money to support this project.
Who will be your syndication partners?
I think local banks and other international financial institutions, they all can join us.
Development institutions.
So we can therefore conclude that although the Bank of China could not be able to bring very substantial funds into the market by ourselves, but it can still be instrumental in arranging the necessary finance in association with local and other international financial institutions.
So altogether it means if you syndicate the loan, it can be more than $350 million you are talking. It could be even larger.
Yes, sir.
Larger
enough.
Yeah, you are able to finance large, say, railway projects or any larger projects.
Yes, sir. And all the local banks will benefit from that.
When did you apply for permission? How many years ago?
2014, I think more than 4 years ago.
4 years ago, you applied for license, and you are waiting for your license for the last 5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And what they said was they are working on new legislations approving that foreign banks come into Mongolia.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything to add?
I would like to thank you for your kind invitation to take part in today's interview. And I would like to say that my team and I are looking forward to participating in the development of Mongolia and to having the opportunity to promote closer cooperation between the two countries for the benefit of everyone. Finally, I'd like to wish everyone here in Mongolia have a prosperous and bright future. Thank you, and thanks to the audience.
Well, okay. It was a great pleasure learning about your bank and to have the first face-to-face opinion of the current situation of the bank, and I hope the coming Bank of China will be a substantial contribution to development of Mongolia and development of cooperation between two countries and cooperation between two businesses. За хүн төлөвчтэй өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор Bank of China энэ банкны төлөөлөгчийн газрын дарга ноён Дai Xingjun оролцлоо. Баярлалаа.